We are amazing because our passion is limitless and our drive is intense. Therefore, you will not deny our grind. You are now listening to the Faith, Grind, and Inspire podcast.
Welcome back to another great episode of Faith, Grind, Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Gene Alert.
And I'm Jeff Patrick.
And today we have a special guest.
Yes, that's right. Daniel Hazan is in the house. The boss is here.
The boss himself.
The boss is here.
The man himself.
Daniel Hazan.
One of the youngest agents in history?
in history. We're going for history. We're going for history. The youngest agent in history.
Yeah.
All right?
So thank you for coming on.
Definitely.
So the podcast is Faith, Grind, Inspire podcast is all about the mindset of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Right? So we talk about the process, we talk about their journey and how you got here, right?
Right.
So let's start off by where you're from. Tell the people who
give us a little background.
Introduce yourself.
For sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I actually grew up on the Upper East Side of New York City, 92nd Street.
West side?
East Side.
East side.
East side, all the way on the east. Yeah.
I'm repping the West. What's the matter? I can't rep the West?
Yeah, no, I'm an East Side guy.
Nah, it's all good.
We grew up in Manhattan my whole life to a Jewish Orthodox family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grew up a diehard Knicks fan.
Okay.
Right down here. Used to come out here and go to the games. Always had a passion for basketball, but at the end of the day, being 5'7", the chances aren't really too high to making that dream come true. So always had a passion in basketball and wanted to figure out the best way to to get involved in ball. And long story short, ended up where I am today.
Wow. So you love ball, right? Anybody in your family was in sports management, agent, nothing?
Nothing. Nah, I mean, it all started, I was 7 years old. My dad called me one day and said, I got these 2 tickets to watch basketball. I didn't even know anything about basketball.
Right.
I went to the Garden, and I told my dad I wanted a gift. I wanted something. He's like, I'll buy you something. I'll buy you something at the end of the game. I couldn't even wait for the gift. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, let's get out of here at halftime.
Right.
He got me an Allen Houston jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ended up being a huge Allen Houston fan.
Yeah.
And then, that's where it all started.
Yeah. Wait, you were 7 when Allen was playing?
Yeah, it must have been
That's what Starks and them boys, right?
Nah, it was like 99, so I was born in 91, so around like 99.
Wow.
I mean, that was like prime time. Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell.
Yes,
and,
yes.
He was killing it, and it's crazy now because obviously Allen in the front office with the Knicks and being able to work with him on on a day-to-day basis is crazy.
How's that feel, man? How's that feel like? I mean, we're in the Garden right now, but how's it feel being down there? And
I mean, it's just a real feeling. 2 years ago, I signed my first player on the Knicks, and we went up to Westchester and we signed the contract. It was probably a couple weeks right after Scott Perry, had joined the organization, and being up there and actually having a client on the New York Knicks was like dream come true, like one of those irreplaceable moments. Like being in the Garden, is an unreal feeling. I had a player drop 17 in the Garden against the Knicks. Those are feelings that you can't replace.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say...
Because I want to go somewhere else.
You want to go somewhere. I'm a sports guy, and I'm basketball. So that player you're talking about is J.R. Smith, right?
Well, no, I work with Jr. after
that
he had left the Knicks, and once he was with Cleveland. But that was Jamel Artis.
Okay.
Who I'm talking about. Not many guys are familiar with him, but he had a stint with the Knicks a couple years ago. But yeah, JR is definitely a guy we've been working with. Done a lot of stuff with him once he came to Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, for the people who don't know, right, because you're probably going to have the people, one of the reasons why I really wanted you to be on this show is because I find you to be an ultimate, passionate individual who works for what he wants and who actually goes out and does what he really needs to do, as in creative execution, right? You're very Now, tell the people about the cups. Before you got into all of this, tell them a little bit about the cups.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the cups.
So they can
Yeah.
right.
Kind of similar to this
Right.
to a certain extent. But when I was a junior in college, I was sitting in class, and obviously, like most college students, was kind of bored, and was staring at this coffee cup. It had Coca-Cola in it, and I spent probably like an hour and a half staring at this coffee cup, and I was like, imagine if there was something useful on this coffee cup. It would be amazing. So ended up coming up with this idea of putting advertisements on disposable coffee cups and
Right.
allocating them to over 2,000 cafes around the New York City
Did you
area.
hear that? Did you hear that, Gene? Did you hear that?
So it was a simple
That's-
idea.
That's an entrepreneur right there.
Yeah, it was a simple idea that ended up growing and branching out, and we had a lot of success. We got a CEO of Dun & Bradstreet to invest in our company, and it kind of blossomed from there. But it all started in college at Yeshiva University up in Washington Heights, where I went to school, and after getting bought out of my business and kind of getting the boot, I had to find my my new passion, and
Let's pause for a second right there.
Wait, hold on.
You said a company bought your business. How old were you?
I must have been like 19 or something like that.
19 years old. You sold your first company.
Yeah, they had a vision, where they, because it was kind of weird dynamic, because it was like me and my partner, we were, we were two like 18, 19-year-old kids, and like, suddenly like now there's like 15 people in the room in meetings, and like they're all 35 plus, and we obviously had our vision, but they're coming in with more experience with their vision, so. Given that they were taking the lead on everything, they were like, it's best off we just kind of take the company and go off, with it on our own. So, that was it.
No, you didn't tell them about Shark Tank.
Oh yeah,
Come on, that was my favorite part.
Yeah, so when we had first started the company, we were, we were approached by Shark Tank. We gave them our pitch. They loved our pitch, and they're like, hey, we want you on the show. We want you on the show and everything like that, and. We didn't get an investment from the show, but we found our success and our investors that we needed in order for the company to succeed shortly thereafter.
Right.
It's amazing, man.
Dan, you know what I really like about you, right? Is that the way you carry yourself smells and looks like money. It looks
Man,
no, seriously,
it's important. It's important.
Tell them why it's important.
Yeah, I mean it's really important because especially for someone my age,
Right.
and especially like I found success at a young age. Like it was really important to be able to look the part. You want to be taken seriously. So for a guy like me, I was always dealing with the issue of you're too young, you're inexperienced, whatever it is. So the last thing you want to add to their concerns, especially for athletes, that are handing their career in your hands, and you got to figure out a way to deliver. The last concern you want to have is is not looking your part, looking immature, not looking ready for the moment. So it's always important to be dressed. That's something that's really important for me. Be dressed and be ready for that moment. And even today,
be dressed and be ready for that moment.
I always want to randomly throw on some sweatpants and sweatshirt, but every single time I do it, I run into someone I don't want to be wearing that in front of. So you're just better off dressed well at all times, and
that's my motto.
Yeah, my 100%. Father says, always dress so you don't have to say sorry.
100%.
You don't have to apologize. Never apologize for your appearance.
I'm always big on first impression.
Oh, 100%.
So when you see me, you got to know, this guy is serious.
100%, because you got that 30 seconds, to impress someone. You got that elevator pitch. You got to be, down pat. So, you're trying to give an elevator pitch to somebody, and you're
hold on, Dan. I think you should give us a definition of what that 30-second elevator pitch is, so people can actually get. Conceptualize what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, that 30-second pitch is, if you have a business or, you're trying to pitch yourself to, to someone you want to work for, et cetera. It's, these 30 seconds to kind of showcase, who you are or what your company is and kind of figure out a way to get them intrigued, to be able to take that to the next level and have a meeting and go into their office and sit down for a cup of coffee and kind of take it from there. So, that 30-second pitch, dictates, whether you're going to get a shot with this person and impress that person or not. So, for me, beyond that 30-second pitch that you have, those 30 seconds you have to impress someone, you got to also look that part. And that's something that's really important.
Yeah, definitely.
How important is building rapport and building relationships in your business?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's super important, right? And, it's kind of tough in our business because the only way you start building rapport is once you have players.
Right.
So,
Right.
If you don't have players and if teams aren't calling you about your players, like, it's going to be hard to kind of build that that relationship. So, that relationship where you're helping the team out and the team, is helping you out in turn, and obviously with the success of building relationships with teams comes, favors and, hey man, just take a look at this guy, man, bring him into the gym and whatever, and giving opportunities for players off of your reputation and your word. Rapport is something that's really important. And obviously, I've been in this for like 7 years, and it was hard. It was hard to build, to start building off relationships. But you got to figure out a way to build your relationships in other ways, right? If you don't have players, then you got to figure out a way to build relationships with team personnel in other ways. And I use my other business background to build relationships with personnel and try and connect them, in personal ways and help them out in personal ways. If I couldn't help them on the court.
So you leveraged.
100%. You gotta leverage. Run with one.
See,
with
people?
the other.
We always talk about this key word, leverage, on the show.
And that's what leads me to my other business right now. I have a company called Sleekers.
Okay.
It's these big fat slippers that look like Yeezys and J's.
Uh-huh.
And I just got the NBA license for it and the NCAA license for.
I know I'm about to cop me a pair.
Yeah, you got to. It's fire.
I'm gonna cop me
Definitely
a pair.
fire. Got it a year ago, but I use my leverage as an NBA agent. And founder Ty Lawson, who played in the league for a long time. We use our relationships, to be able to leverage our way into that field and of the licensing and things like that. And that's not something that's really so easy to get into, but it's all about leverage and figuring out ways to use what you have to grow into and branch out to other opportunities as well.
Yeah.
When you say, for those who don't understand, when you say an NBA license for shoe, what does that mean?
It means that now. I could produce a product and have the NBA logo on it and sell it and put it out all over the place. So we're selling on Fanatics right now. We're on the NBA store.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah, so
online.
So that's where our success really comes in, and we're obviously we're in NBA arenas as well. So a bunch of NBA arenas are going to have our product in there as well. So that's kind of what it's about.
That's cool. That's cool.
Definitely,
I like
man.
that.
Another thing that I appreciate is that I asked you when I first met you, I said, what is the number one thing for you for doing business? And you said moral and ethics, right? So I want you to give us a clear understanding of what you are talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
So people can, 100%.
I mean, listen,
love this guy. He gives us 100%.
It's the biggest issue that we have in our business. You see so many times guys are kind of, getting, athletes are getting taken advantage of. Obviously, these players, their best asset in their life is, their ability to play the sport, and they put their career in our hands, and a lot of times people use that and take advantage of players, and take advantage of the fact that athletes are really trusting us with their career. And I think that's something that's really important, for me, because I'm trying to figure out a way to separate myself from everybody else. And one of the biggest things that me and my partner, Andrew, what we wanted, and what we were striving to do in order to bring change to his business was, run our business morally and ethically. And that's something that's really important. And obviously me coming from, a religious Jewish background and my partner as well, that definitely plays part in that. And at the end of the day, we're not going to sell ourselves for some money. It's really important for us to run our business in that way. And I think that, that's carried over, and that reputation has carried over, and spread league wide and along to a lot of other players that have heard about us.
Right. See,
Appreciate that.
yeah, definitely. I really do appreciate that, and I really appreciate when you said that. When I asked you, I was like, see, that's somebody that's on top of it. And the thing is capitalism, right? I'm a capitalist. I am a capitalist, and capitalism is something that I really enjoy but let me tell you something. Moralistic capitalism is something that we should practice.
100%.
Right? We should actually keep that at the forefront when we're doing business, because that will keep us on the straight and narrow and help us to do the right thing for the right people at the right time and not lose our way in any way, shape. What precipitated us to be here is that kind of a thinking. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
And I really appreciate that. And I wanna go a little further, right? I want you to tell us, right? What is your day like? What's your day like? What's your day?
Yeah, I mean, these days, go around the clock because you're dealing with players, who are playing out here in the States, right? So you're dealing with NBA teams during the day, et cetera. But I have players that are playing overseas, that are playing across water. So
Okay.
you got guys who are playing in Japan, China, Australia, Israel, Middle East, in Europe, all over the place. So it's really around the clock. Yeah, you got to deal with everyone around the clock. So it's a 24/7 job.
We thank you for being here too, man.
Appreciate you.
It's not a typical like 9 to 5 job like most people. You're working the phone at all times. But waking up, obviously, dealing with. Most of the time I'm dealing with all the all overseas stuff in the morning. So, it's all these people who are hitting me up, through the night, about potential deals or issues or certain concerns that are going on with players, whatever. Go into the office. Obviously, before I go into the office, part of my religious obligations is to pray in the morning.
That's what I'm talking about.
And, go into the office and, kind of deal with this stuff.
We're faith, grind, inspire.
100%.
Faith, grind, inspire.
It's all about religion. But
yeah, faith, grind, inspire.
For me, it's crazy. It's like my days are always jam-packed, but there's never a schedule for my day, just because everything just kind of comes in all at the same time. But just dealing with players on a day-to-day basis, helping them get jobs and things like that. Obviously, the preseason's coming up for us next week. So, a lot of the next 2-3 weeks, I'm going to be visiting a lot of our players that are going through NBA preseason, whatever. And then, I'll go out in November, December, start visiting all my clients that are abroad.
Are you married?
Yes, I am married for 2 years.
So come on, hold on.
Come on, yeah. This is what the listeners want to know.
Yeah.
How do you balance this?
Go ahead.
You must have the secret, man.
I don't have the secret.
Yeah, he's like, nah, don't put it on me.
Nah, there's no secret.
Because I'm married 10 years, bro, and I still don't have the answer, man.
Nah, there's no answer for that. The struggle is real, and it's hard. It's really hard, but hopefully you find the spouse that understands, that you have responsibilities that go beyond just your typical day. And
the checks help.
The checks. But the checks don't help, man. The cars don't help. The gifts don't help, bro. Look, I remember my wife told me, she said, "I'm not married to the couch. I'm not married to on demand. I'm married to you." I was like, but
I got but it's hard.
Cool,
it's
cool.
definitely hard. You try to figure out ways to, keep them upbeat and show them some, light at the end of the tunnel.
Let me give you some advice as a 10-year vet, right? Well, he can really give the advice, but create a movie night or ask her what she wants. That's what,
but the problem is, every time I try and do that, you're seeing the movie and then the phone call comes in. 30-minute phone call comes in.
Right.
So, then she ends up watching the movie by herself and she's sick. So, that's the hard thing about my business is that it's just so hard. You can't
turn off.
You can't turn off, and you don't know when it's gonna come, right? So when I got married, I went on a honeymoon and spent a lot of my honeymoon signing players. I'm sitting at dinner watching a game on my phone, just because you have so many responsibilities, and at the end of the day, it's all about client relationship and making them feel like they're important, and watching their games and talking to them about the games and seeing what they could do to improve and things like that. So you just really can't skip a beat.
Do you bring your wife to the games?
Try sometimes, you know.
Does she like basketball?
She does. She definitely watches it, but you know, it's just it's a lot different because I'm running around after the game. You know, I gotta see my client, gotta take him out for dinner and things like that. So, but you know, she comes around.
Okay,
Definitely
that's cool,
comes to games when she you know, is persistent about it.
So, but you met her
in school.
In school before.
When I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
when you met
she has to understand.
She knows you.
When I was on the bottom.
She has to understand. She was in the gym shooting with you, bro.
Yeah,
exactly. She's good.
Yeah. Rebounding.
She's good.
She's not. No, when it comes to family life and the business life, right? The one thing you want to remember is that you must be loyal.
100%.
Right? You have to be loyal. And when you do that, you make sure that everyone understands where you're coming from. Now, with that being said, I'm not talking about you have these circles in your life. You understand? And your wife is the closest circle.
Yeah.
Your wife is, everyone else falls outside of that circle. And for me, the greatest friendship that I have ever come across is the friendship that I have with my wife.
Without a doubt.
You see what I'm saying? And that is one of the things that have sustained me in my marriage for over 20 years.
Wow.
Is because my wife happens to be the most reasonable person that I have ever met. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
A matter of fact,
I love it.
One of the things that attracted to my wife, not that she's pretty and all of that, right? Her reasoning skills was off the hook.
Right.
And when I come across women, they can't really reciprocate what I'm, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
But my wife had the ability to be like, no, listen, you want to look at it like this. And maybe you should try it like this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And she wasn't afraid to tell you.
Afraid?
None of them are afraid at all. Not afraid to say anything.
No. So once you find that friendship and you find somebody who can actually be in your corner and you actually be in their corner and they understand you for who you are, because nobody is perfect. You see what I'm saying? No one's perfect, and everyone is doing the best that they can, and your wife will be by your side if you're doing the best that you can.
Most definitely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with what you're saying.
So business-wise, yes, we're in there.
Yeah.
And we're taking our family along for the ride.
Most definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You feel
It's
me?
true.
You feel
It's
me?
true.
Definitely a fact.
So we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Just on different levels. And sometimes you want to push
100%.
overboard, but it's okay.
Hey, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. So,
Yeah.
you know, I come from a family where you know my parents have been married for many years, so I probably lost track at this point. So you know, that's
Are they business people?
Not really.
Okay.
You know, my mom never really worked. My dad worked in the jewelry business, and you know, is the lead cantor of our temple. So you know, so that's been the motto. You know,
So he was a busy man too.
yeah, he was a busy man. He was definitely a busy man, and my mom was focused on raising
The
you know,
kids.
me and my brother. So
Okay.
you know, that was kind of, you know, I'm first generation American, and it's kind of, you know, the old school mentality.
Let's go to education now. Let's go to education. Now, you got a law degree.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what was it like going to go get the law degree, and more importantly, what made you decide to get the law degree?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my mom really wanted me to go to law school.
Thanks, Mom.
At least you keep it real. I like this guy, man. He's transparent.
man.
She wanted me to go to law school.
Thanks,
so,
Mom.
She put the full court press on. You know, it was super challenging just because, you know, I was running my business, you know, at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, everyone in school thought I had a bladder problem because I was walking out of class every couple of minutes.
Get that phone call.
To get that phone call, but you know, the key was to sit in the back of the class, so they wouldn't really feel it as much. But you know, it definitely had its challenges, and it wasn't easy. You know, but at the end of the day, like, you know, my passion for being an MBA agent and building this business grew you know, much more rapidly than being in school, and you know, just focused on building this out as much as I can.
So what are your thoughts on education?
I mean, education's super important, super integral, especially for for most people, just because, like, if I'm honest, like, you don't really find many people like that are in my position. I would almost say that I'm blessed and lucky to be where I am. So education plays a huge part in my success. But for most people that are trying to get into certain fields, like, you obviously need your education in order to get into it. I don't necessarily think that to be an MBA agent you need to be in a certain educational field.
Yeah.
But for your respect, like, to have that respect when you walk into a room and to be able to say, like, hey, I graduated from this school, and things like that, like, are really important. But I think school, for me, more than anything, just gave me the opportunity to be able to learn about what I was interested in and what I wasn't interested in, and kind of help me filter through, like, what my interests are and interests were to get to where I am today. So for me, I think, that's a really important thing for education. Being at Yeshiva University for my undergrad, and I was in business school. We had an entrepreneurial class, and every week we'd have CEOs from different companies come in, and that lit a fire on my ass. You see the CEO of Howard Schultz from Starbucks coming in, and you see all these huge like monster like CEOs like coming in, like start from the bottom kind of dudes, and you're just like, damn, I want to be like that. So for me, like, that gave me that. I was, laser focused on that, and that's kind of where everything started.
I love that.
I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on education, because I'm an academia guy, right? And first and foremost, education in our world, it is the dynamic infrastructure of our society. All right, meaning that whatever you want to do in this world, with an education, you can do it better.
Yep.
For one reason and one reason only. It opens you to a world of resources.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
You understand?
1,000,000%. I wouldn't have been where I am if it wasn't for the resources I got being out of school.
You see what I'm saying? It will expand you, and your broadband will be filled with major resources.
100%.
And I'm not talking about cash alone.
Yeah.
Listen, some of the professors I've come across, the ideas that I have gotten from them has trajectory. It was the trajectory of what I'm doing now.
No, 100%. But
it's a catalyst.
More importantly, is even like as close as your classmates, like, you just don't know where they're going to be in life and when you're going to need them. So just laying alone, like, it's like the ultimate networking, opportunity, being in school, and obviously learning from the best, the best of the best, and bounce ideas by them. I keep on talking about Yeshiva University, but the dean of the business school, was really, really close to all the students and was focused on building relationships with them and helping them out, to the point where I was coming in with my business plan, and we were bouncing ideas off of it, to help me start my businesses. So, these are things that are really important, and it all starts there. And, no better place to start, building your roller deck than in school.
You and I met through the Moonshot Scholarship Program at Toro,
and we're sitting here today.
Exactly.
We're helping inspire each other and help each other out, and it all starts in the classroom.
I love that.
Exactly. This is why I am so proponent for
most definitely
this academic system.
So, in the same line of academic, we're talking about agents. We're talking about being an attorney. NCAA a couple months ago tried to put this rule out, and it went away, right? And it's gone now. But the Rich Paul rule, that well, they call it. It's not called the Rich Paul rule.
TMZ called me on the street about a month ago outside my office to ask me about the Rich Paul rule. Yeah. You guys can check it out on YouTube. But,
I'm gonna check it out.
I mean, for me it was awesome. Like all the rules helped me out, right? Like,
right.
Separated me from a bunch of other people, and made the playing field even easier for me to kind of maneuver around. But there's a lot of backlash about what what the NCAA is trying to do. I think they're just trying to gain a lot of more control of the athletes. They already have a lot of control, but they want more.
They're not going anywhere.
you know, it is what it is. I think they're only hurting themselves with what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of players right now who are finding a lot of success instead of going to college, going to play overseas or going to the G League. Guys like RJ Hampton and LaMelo Ball and all them. You know, like they're starting to find success overseas, and so I think the NCAA has a lot of soul searching to do to kind of figure out what they want to do. I think Rich used it as a way to to build a company and to build his name, but obviously you can't tell me that Rich Paul isn't in the right position to be able to negotiate a contract. Like that's ludicrous to me. That doesn't really make much sense.
No, it doesn't.
So to me it was like even pointless to come up. Do I think it was targeted towards him? No, but at the end of the day, like Rich Paul's one of the most successful people in our business, and you're not going to tell him that he can't. He's not fit to. To represent a player coming out of college. So, that's kind of, how I feel about it as a whole. I have to do the background check for the NCAA. Past that, I've taken an exam in a month or two. Haven't taken exams in a long time, so we'll see how I fare out in this test, but I should be okay. And,
you'll do okay.
Kind of go from there.
Do you remember your first client? Do you remember how you obtained your first client?
How old were you?
I was super young, but I was really focused on just trying to get any player that played college ball.
Okay.
I thought anyone who played college ball was a legend. D1 player. Oh my God! My first client was like a D1 player, averaged 3 points a game, and I was over the moon. I was like, this guy is league, for sure league. But I quickly started realizing that my knowledge about basketball was really, really, really little, and but you got to grow, at the proper pace. You can't shoot for the moon. You see a lot of agents, they try to get into it, and they're like, I'm going for an NBA player. Like, no, I start with players that were literally playing for $1,000 a month overseas in a country called Mongolia. I was literally like the Bill Duffy of Mongolia. I was bringing all the American players out there. I signed like 7 players there. I was a man out there.
You were like, show me the money.
Yeah, the Mongolia to the U.S. ambassador came and presented me with all kinds of stuff. I was like a legend out there. Never been out there, but never would go out there. But kind of build out from there, and then the next goal from there is like, hey, I want to get a player that played in the G League. You want to get that G League jersey up on your website. And then you want to get the guy who played summer league, and you slowly start building. This year we had our first NBA draft pick. But before we got our first NBA draft pick, we negotiated 15 NBA contracts beforehand. So everything is kind of like, a step, taking the proper step, incrementally, but, with experience, because you don't want to jump too far and then you fail and then, you regress even more. So, that's something that's really important, and it's a huge grind. It's a lot of patience and understanding. You're going to go into rooms and, you're not going to sign, you're not going to get the guy that you expect to get, like we spent all year, a couple years ago, recruiting a player by the name Josh Richardson. I played for Miami for a long time, like a guy that wasn't really on the map, when he was in college, but like towards the end of his senior year, it kind of blew up, and, big agency came and swept him up in the last second, and nothing you can do about it, and it sucks. And those are moments where you're just like, damn, why am I even in this business? But, you got to understand that, like, your time's going to come. You just got to be ready for it and keep on pushing and chugging away. And the more experience you have and the more you grind, the harder you work, you're going to find your success. And, this year we got Quindary Weatherspoon drafted by the San Antonio Spurs.
That was your guy?
Yeah, man. And that moment where his name got called, like,
you were crying?
It was a moment that irreplaceable, man. I was it was crazy because when San Antonio went on the clock, we started talking to them, and we knew going into it that
that's where
if he was available at 49, he was like at the top of their list, but 30 seconds before they announced it, I already got the call. I knew they were going to draft him.
Yeah.
But once you hear the name called, even though it's coming,
wow. You know who told me about that player? Nick DeLuga, my boy. He has this thing called OGE. it's like these guys that sit around the couch and they talk about sports. Okay. And he was telling me about Homeboy. So yeah, congratulations.
Legit. He's definitely legit.
good business.
Shout out to Nick.
Wait,
man.
Hold on. I want you to just give us. You don't have to go into detail, but what's the process of recruiting is like for you? Tell us how you recruit. Come on, just give us a little inkling.
Guy from the east side.
East side. I said west side. Oh no,
you go from the east side, and you find yourself in some random holes in the middle of the country. That's the biggest struggle for me because I'm low key sick. Some places don't even have a hotel.
Yeah, wow.
Like some areas don't even have a hotel. So,
wow.
It's hard. I always grew up in a bubble in New York. Like the
big city,
in the world. Like this is a city that never sleeps, and suddenly you're going to Manhattan, Kansas. You're going to Wichita.
Yeah, different world.
You're going to a different world, and you're getting pulled over by the police.
I was recruited by Kansas State when I was.
You're the guy with the suit on.
Yeah, I'm getting pulled over by the police because I'm the only car driving down the road. In the last 7-8 hours. So of course you got to pull this guy over.
I've been to Wichita. It's it's a different world.
But first you got to start, locating the talent. Locating who who interests you. And you're just like, this kid. This is the kid I want. Whatever. Obviously getting feedback from NBA teams and seeing like where they stand and things that they need to improve on, whatever. And then the recruiting process is crazy. You're pulling up to parents' houses, you're going to games, trying to catch players after the game. Connect with them, connect with the family, and build a relationship. Because at the end of the day, like I always tell my guys, like if you can't vibe with us, you can't fuck with us. So building a relationship for me is super important because I'm trying to build a 50-year relationship with my clients, not a 5-year relationship. So.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no. So, building a relationship is really important, but obviously comes with its challenges because you have to fall within the NCAA guidelines.
Right.
But that's something that's really important. Once a player feels comfortable with you, I think it's easier for them to make the best decision for their career.
What do you look for?
Go ahead,
what do you look for in a player?
Okay, yeah. I mean, so that evolves over the years, right? I first started looking for, just talent. But, I've quickly realized that, it's 80% mental that leads to a player's success. So, it's not necessarily so much about talent. There's other factors with upbringings. I watch interviews of players to see how they handle themselves in the interview setting and, learn more about their off the court, who they're hanging out with, what they like to do, what their interests are, how their personalities are. These things are what are really important to a player's success. Because at the end of the day, when you're entering the league, like you're not necessarily going to be like that superstar, that starting five guy. So teams are looking for guys who are good role models, good citizens, active people in their community, and guys who may have to ride the bench a little bit, but we'll support their team and we'll challenge their teammates day in day out and just not be a headache to these teams.
I got a personal business philosophy that I'm going to share right now, and maybe you guys can relate to it. But personally, I'm always looking for a brother. You see what I'm saying? In the light and in the dark, I'm always looking for a brother, white or black. That means if I can feel you as a brother and relate to you in such a way, I don't think that you and I are going to really do good business together. You see what I'm saying?
100%. And I'll tell you something that, that's the biggest, that was the biggest challenge for us, because when you think about a player and you think about, okay, how will a player relate to me?
Right.
The first thing you're going to think about is, okay, does he play basketball or not? So if you play ball with me, like at that, like if you were a hooper too, like, okay, we got something you could relate to. Okay, well, X for me, because that's quiet for me in that regard. Okay, cool. Did you grow up in the same kind of community or background as I did?
No.
We kind of went through the same struggle. Like, we've been through that. Start from the gutter. Blah, blah, blah. That's a big X for me as well. Can't
self-awareness.
Can't connect to a guy like that. So like that already puts me behind the eight ball, right? It's like, bro, you don't play ball, so you don't know what I'm going through on a daily basis. Like you're telling me I'm crazy for making the decision I did, but to me, in my community, that's a norm to act a certain way or to handle things a certain way. So you can't even relate to me like that. So for me, that was a huge eye-popping moment for me, because it's like I would wonder how they can make such a decision like that, but not realizing like I don't know what they've gone through to be able to to make them understand like this is why I made this decision. So I figure out other ways to connect with them. Like I figure out I connect to guys with my age, similar in age.
Mm-hmm.
We play the same video games. Mm-hmm. We like the same kind of girls.
Right.
So we can talk about that.
Right.
So you got to figure out a way find that hook to connect to players, because if you like you said, like if you can't connect to them as a brother, it's quiet for you.
That's when I met you, and you stretched your hand out and we connected, touched me. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Got to.
Wait a minute. Nah. And then you would look at me in my eyes and you would say, listen, we can. I was like, wait a minute. This dude is for real.
100%. But you got to know when to turn that switch on, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go to Scott Perry and be like, yo,
nah.
You can't do that to him, right?
Nah, but
you got to know when to turn, flip it on and off.
Yeah. That's what makes you who you are, because you actually know how to regulate.
100%.
You know how to,
and you have to be you. You have to,
I felt it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If it was ingenuine, I'd have been like,
yeah, you could.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can spot that a mile away.
You can feel it. You can like, wait a minute. But I was like, wait a minute, brother, right here.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
You watch Ballers?
No, I never watched it. A lot of people say it's similar to my life.
It is, man.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you some questions about do you think it's because it's like out of like the sports agent world type of thing, Ballers is a really good show.
Yeah,
it was more realistic than the LeBron show on whatever that Stars. It was on Stars.
Oh, Stars.
Yeah, it was about the basketball player's life.
I don't know what it
but.
is.
Yeah, I mean,
but I like Ballers.
I don't watch too much TV.
Yeah,
Ballers is good.
I don't really watch too much TV as well. It takes a lot to get me to watch TV. But a lot of people have been always bring it up. And the Jerry Maguire thing, people always call me Jerry Maguire. And all
you never watched that movie?
No,
really?
I watched that movie. So,
wow.
Try to stay away.
That's why I said, show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money, right? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It comes with the good, bad, and the ugly. A lot of the stuff, that Ballers and all these shows portray are like the fun, exciting times of going out and hanging out with guys and the party lifestyle and all the cool stuff, but no one really knows the grind,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The
grind.
Listen,
Faith grind inspired.
I'll tell you, man, no one really knows this, but there was a point in my life where I went to watch my client, on the New Orleans Pelicans, and didn't have enough money to get a hotel. I slept at the airport. You know what I mean? Like I was sleeping at the airport with the pink T-shirt for breast cancer that they gave away at the game. You know what I mean? That was my pillow. So
real talk.
I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of trials and tribulations to get me to where I am today. And obviously I'm not even close to where I wanna be, but it definitely has its challenges.
But you know what? I appreciate
you my brother.
that. Because everyone talks about the glamour, right? They talk about at the end. That's why I said in the beginning, the show's all about, number one, the mindset and the process. Because we love the process. Right. That's what I'm in love with, right? So Patrick introduced me to Reginald Francis Lewis, which was the first black billionaire. In that book, there's a quote that's still in my office to this day, and it says, "Keep going no matter what," right? And during the rough times, because as an entrepreneur, you're self-employed. So there's no paycheck at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Like, you create it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're, you mentioned it, you glossed over it, but you're building a relationship with a player for years. And all of a sudden, Rock Nation just comes and takes him. Yeah, I'm just saying Rock Nation. Back. But Rock Nation, to me, it's like Rock Nation, Gary Vaynerchuk. These guys didn't go to law school, but they have the name, and people just want to be cool. And a lot of these players, they got the clout, and they went to school, they grew up listening to Jay-Z, they listen, so they just like, I want to be with him.
I don't blame them, what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, and I see what's going on, which is cool, but like, even in every industry has that juggernaut.
Yeah.
But then I think people would sign with you, people would work with people like us because of who we are, right?
100%.
And our love for just the people, right? And knowing that we have the best interest for them.
100%.
So I already see it in you,
For me, it's like, I don't even sweat it when someone doesn't sign with me because, if you, like you said, most guys who are signing with me are signing because of me, and who I am. So if you don't feel that vibe, then cool. Because like I don't want to have just a business relationship with you. I want to have a personal relationship with you as well. So
Brother.
it's like, if we can't feel that, as much as you might put some extra money in my pocket, that's not what it's ultimately all about.
Right.
So,
brother, you got a ball with me.
Guys got guys who are in our agency understand that it's not about it's not a one-way street out here, where we just help them. Like, you got to help us grow too.
Absolutely.
So, that's something that's definitely really important. But when I first met you, I walked out of there. It was really the first time in my life, in my career, that I walked out and I was like, I had a self-reflection moment about, like the shit I really went through to get to where I am today, which is crazy, because everyone always talks to me about we always talk about the glamorous stuff, but being with you, like, really opened my eyes to, like, damn, like, I really went through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and I haven't really thought about that. Like, I really didn't, I always thought, I never thought about it. Like, okay, Dan, you made it. Like, all right, cool, or whatever. But, like, you never really self-reflect and be like, damn.
Yeah, I slept in the airport.
I did that.
Wearing the pink T-shirt.
Yeah, I did that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
that's my gift.
It's crazy to realize that, and it kind of motivated me even more.
I love it.
Definitely.
I have two more questions. One of them is, because I teach entrepreneurship in the schools, in the middle schools.
Before you get into that, Gene.
No. Hold on. Because a lot of kids, when you ask them, what do you want to be? They say, I want to be in the NBA. I want to be in the NFL. I want to be a professional sports player.
See, you went off my topic.
Oh, it's you want?
No, I wanted to talk about the process a little more before you got into that, because I wanted to know, because technology is a major part of today's world, and I wanted to see how you were using new technology in the recruiting process.
I don't want to. I can't give away my secrets.
All right.
But it's all technology. It's what it's all in the technology.
All right,
and that's what we used to. Anyone who wants to get into this business, you guys could figure it out.
Yeah, I feel you.
But it's all in the technology, and social media obviously is so important. But we could talk a little bit about how important.
All right, go ahead. Talk to Gene.
How important social media really is for you.
Yeah. I'm not on social media, so I get
social media is everything. Like I say, given that I was, I'm young and etc. Like, it's really important to build your own brand through social media, and social media is everything. You see a lot of guys who are, a lot of people are posting on, I'm in Capri in Italy. And I'm on vacation, and I'm getting lit this weekend at the club, popping bottles.
Yeah,
and they don't realize
I'm eating all this amazing food. I'm never on vacation.
Yeah,
I'm never sleeping. I never eat.
No, I'm with you.
I never see my wife.
I'm with him. I
don't do nothing.
I'm with you,
but work.
I'm with you.
You understand? Because you want to keep. You want
jobs, and I want.
Yeah, I got a million jobs.
Yeah,
and every time you call me,
Daniel just turned it up.
And every time you call me, I'm working on you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
tell him.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's all every time I call my client, they all just got out of the gym.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Just got out of the gym. How can it be that every time I call you, you just got out of the gym? But it's important for them. It's important for us because you want to always make them feel. They want you to always feel that they're always working. You want to feel like you're always working.
Exactly.
So it's really important when you're using your social media, like. Yeah. Use it for your business. Build your brand. You want to build your brand, showing everyone you got money and you're going on vacations. I won't take you seriously. You know what I mean? Like, show me what you're doing. Show me the work. Show me the work. So that's what I'm big about. So I use my social media for to build my brand and to focus on building my brand. And I never really try to make it personal because. For me, it's all about my success with my business.
I love it, man. Look, so the question. So you see all these kids. Talking about NFL, NBA, baseball, whatever it is. What tips or what 3 or 4 things that you could say to if you were in front of a group of kids right now and they said, I want to be sign me. I want to be, how do I get into the NBA? What would you tell the person? Like, what would you tell this kid? Like, are you going to ask him, where's your ball? Like, how many times are you playing? Are you on Fortnite or are you in the gym? Like, which one would you pick? Like, what would you tell this kid?
It's I get asked that question all the time, and I even get asked that question with guys who have played college ball and already got because you're talking about kids trying to they got to take the first step of playing AAU, playing in high school, and then getting to college. I'm talking about dudes that have been out of college are trying to play professionally, and I'm looking at them and I'm just like, I don't even know how to approach the situation because you don't stand a chance. You know what I mean? These are guys who have played college ball, played at the highest level, D1 and all that.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about those kids. I'm talking about
no. But I hear what Dan.
It's too late for you, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's such a challenge because no one really realizes the small percentage that even make it to that point. Forget make it to the point of playing college ball D1 it's already a big deal, but play professionally or to play in the NBA how small that is, and you see so many guys who are fringe talent that are right there and they can't even push their way in. So it's so hard to to really try and guide people because there is no guide. Number one. Number two is for a guy like me, for me to be in my position, right? Like where there's probably right now there's 100 agents who have a player in the NBA. I'm one of them. I've been one of them for the last 7 years. And there's 800 agents and only 100 have a player in the NBA.
Wow.
So for me, if you asked me as a kid, would I be at that point? It's very slim too. So, if it's something that you're really focused on, and that's something that you really, then you'll get there. You'll get there and you'll succeed. But people don't really understand the grind that it really takes, to accomplish a dream. And while you're still trying to accomplish a dream, you gotta still continue, building your backups at the same time. Which means that when I wanted to be an NBA agent, it didn't mean you don't go to law school. It doesn't mean you drop out of school. It doesn't mean that you don't continue getting your education and trying to find other interests in other avenues. Because, for me, it's okay, let's say being an NBA agent didn't work out. Maybe I could run marketing for an NBA team. Maybe I could do analytics for another team. Maybe I could be involved in another way, shape, or form and find that avenue. So you always got to continue building around yourself just in case shit hits the fan. You have something else to kind of, have a foundation on. So, that's really important for people to understand. Hey, listen, if you can't accomplish your dream of getting to the NBA, all the knowledge that you have working out and training, maybe you could be a trainer. Maybe you could be an assistant coach. Maybe you could run into scouting. Maybe you could be a scout for an NBA team. You could do whatever. So keep on pushing your way through if you're really committed to it. But also use education and, build other things at the same time. So you could kind of have something to lay on, a foundation to lay on.
I love that answer.
You know what I say?
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. If you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be a dancer, if you want to be a hot dog seller, you'll be a better one with an education.
100%.
100%.
You'll be a better one. Yeah, I'm telling you. You'll be a better one with an education. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure you get your education.
100%. Because if you're a hot dog seller, it's possible that you're good at actually making the hot dogs, but you're not good at marketing and building the proper the proper food truck and putting the food truck in the right place.
Right.
Because if you don't, you could make the best hot dogs, but if you don't have the brains to know where to put it or how to capitalize on it financially, no one's gonna really know about your hot dogs.
And the same, it's anything you want to do.
Without a doubt.
Anything you want to do, just make sure that you get your education. Make sure you do what's right for you. The world will be your oyster. I'm telling you, you are going to open doors that you had no idea that exist.
Without a doubt.
None.
Scary.
It is scary, man. It is scary. But it's also what we got to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Definitely. I got to ask you one more thing. Because I wanted to ask you when I met you, but we were in a hustle bustle.
Yeah.
Are leaders born or are they made? I wanted to ask you that. I was like, I want to ask Danny that because I want to hear what he had to say. So I was like, wait till I get him on the show. I'll just ask him.
And right after that, what does success look like to you?
Damn. Just give me left. Are leaders born or are they made?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It's so hard for me to really answer that because I would say born because I was always a leader at such a young age. But at the same time, like the reason, like I got my leadership skills from growing up with my dad because. Like my dad was like the lead cantor of the temple, and like he would lead the services and whatever, and then like he'd throw me in there to lead the services, right? But he'd put me on OD blast. You know, like if I made a mistake, he'd blast me in front of everyone. So
what?
You know, like are the leadership skills like me getting up and leading the services, or like was it made? Like did my dad like create that around me? You know, because I was kind of around that leadership, like. My dad was the man, like, you know, like everyone looked to him and he was a leader, whatever it is. So, you know, I got to say that, you know, it's probably at the end of the day made, you know, but it's made with being with the right people. You know what I mean? Like if you're not with the right group of people that are also leaders,
we always talk about,
you know, you're not gonna find your success. So, I don't necessarily think it's born. It's probably at the end of the day made. Even though like at a young age I found myself being a leader, a really young age being a leader. But you know, it's probably made.
Okay.
What was your other question?
What does success look like to you at this point in your life?
Well, my success keeps on changing, right? Because if you asked me. Early June, you know, what success? You know, at the time it would be like me getting my first NBA draft pick. So now that that's done, I got my next one. You know, so you keep on. Success is always a target, you know, that you that keeps on changing as time evolves. So you know, it was getting a player in NBA Summer League. Then it was getting a player in the NBA. Then it was negotiating a contract. Then it was, you know, getting a player, you know, drafted. Like, you know, success kind of evolves. You know, over time, and it's never ending. So, it's all about success for me is all accomplishments. It's never the dollar amount because the accomplishments are what are irreplaceable, and those are the things that you take to your grave. So, you know, those to me are what defines success.
Yeah.
I love it.
The Moonshot Scholarship Scholar Program, right? They're dealing with a thing called the quantum mindset. The quantum mindset is thinking that surpasses sustainability, that surpasses regular thinking. It's thinking that makes you go exponentially past what you think is your capabilities. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the success, right, is measured through that mindset that goes beyond. You can't even imagine it yet. It's nothing you can actually think of. It's nothing you can't even put it into words yet because you have no clue. The only thing you could do, right, is just keep doing what you're doing and make sure that you are as ethical and morally sustainable throughout.
100%. But
practice.
yeah, but you know, the most important thing
Yeah.
is not thinking too far ahead. Right, because it's like, you know, when you're flying a plane, like, you know, I don't really understand too much about flying, but you know, when you're flying a plane, you have different markers that you pass. You know, you have 176 miles until you reach this marker.
Yeah, right.
It's like you know, following directions. It's not go from New York to Baltimore, right? You gotta drive 18 miles here, go over here, make another 18 miles, go over here, go. So it's like really important to always just take it kind of like step by step, you know, target by target. And not necessarily focus too far ahead, because when you focus too far ahead, at least with me, I kind of find that you lose the motivation because you know it just looks like it's too much to attain. It's just too far away. But when you start breaking it down, brick by brick, and you have a 300-mile drive, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna bang out the first 50, then I'm gonna get out of New York, I'm gonna get out of New Jersey. Once I hit 100. I'm right there, right? You know, no more triple digits. Now we're in double digits, right? And then once you start hitting 50, and you're like, damn, I used to do 50 every day. I used to drive to law school 53 miles. So once you hit 53, that's light work, right? And then once you start reaching 20, you're like, all right, I'm at the finish line already. So, like, you know, but when you look at the, you know, the drive as a whole, and it's a 5-hour drive, you're low-key sick. You don't even want to do the drive, right? So it's really important to kind of take it step by step.
It's true because I was with one of my professors yesterday, Professor Masak, over at the New York Medical College, and he was telling me something very interesting. He said, you know, you can do whatever you want to do because there's a one-legged man that wanted to climb a mountain, right? A one-legged man that wanted to climb a mountain. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He only did it one step at a time. And I was like, oh my God. One step at a time. You have no choice but to take it one step at a time.
Yep.
Like the one-legged man.
Yep.
Right? And he's trying to climb a mountain. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
So it's some things for you to reflect on and be reflective to Danny, one step at a time.
You gotta you gotta live in the moment too. I found a lot of times in my business where I just want things to be over. I was like, I just want like the next 5 days to be over, and the player makes his decision if he wants to stop. I just want the draft to be over and know like what's gonna happen. Right? But you gotta live within the moment. A lot of times you don't live within the moment. You don't get to really experience what the
power of now.
The power of now. Nothing now anytime soon. But, you gotta take one step at a time and understand that everything's a process.
I love it. Faith, grind, inspire, homie.
That's right. So the show's called Faith, Grind, Inspire. We asked all our guests this.
Yeah.
Out of the 3 words, faith, grind, inspire, which one resonates with you and why?
Well, look, all 3 words are.
Yeah. He's that type of guy. I do believe he's that type of guy, Gene.
I would definitely say, but I do think that.
Because I know you're a religious man, so faith is definitely important. Faith and inspire is definitely important.
I'd probably say grind.
Grind?
Yeah, grind. Just because, like, I would like at the end of the day, like, faith like really helps you go through when you're going through the trials and tribulations. Those moments where you want to quit and you don't want to do it anymore, like, and you're just like, damn, I can't do it. Like, faith is what keeps you going every single day, because you have a lot of ups and downs in this business, especially for athletes. Like, like you're just like, damn, how'd that happen? Like. But you always like have faith, right? Like the faith kind of keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, if you are, you can't just say like, okay, I'm gonna jump off the bridge, and if God wants me to survive, I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna survive. Like at the end of the day, like you need to grind. Like you gotta grind. Like you're not gonna get no handouts. Praying all day long is not gonna drop an NBA client in your on your lap. Right. So at the end of the day, like faith carries you through the challenges. But if you're not gonna put in the work,
it's not
gonna make any sense. And if you don't grind, and have faith, which lead to your success, you can't inspire anyone.
Yeah.
So
exactly what I say.
I think it all starts with grind. I know you put it in the middle, but it's in a different color. So
You know why?
It definitely stands out. So.
Grind is our favorite too.
Yeah,
because that's the work. Because God could give you the vision, but you have to put in the work.
Without a doubt.
You have to put in the work. So I appreciate you, brother. Tell the people where they can find you.
For sure, yeah. So I have Hazan Sports Management. Is the name of my company. You can visit our website at hazansports.com. My slippers company is called Sleekers, SLEAKRS.co. You want to purchase some sneakers, get some cool slippers
They're
to wear
fat.
on the couch.
They fat.
Wear some slippers on the couch, or you trying to rock. You can't buy the Yeezys, but you want a pair. You get some slipper version and wear it at the crib. So you can definitely check us out there as well.
Yeah, I love it.
I
love it. I love it. Anything you want to share? Any last things? Any advice? Entrepreneurs.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to give us a business tip of the day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Give us a business tip of the day, then.
Well, I got my favorite business tip of the day is, a lot of times, I'm meeting with a lot of people, and people are handing me, these business cards and everything like that. Like, you take all these business cards, drop them, on my desk at the table, and you ask me 3 days later, I look at that business card, and I'm just like, wait, who is this again?
Right.
So, really important business tip of the day is put a picture of yourself on your business card. So people could remember who you are. Oh, that really good looking guy. Yeah, I remember what we spoke about. I know what he does.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'm gonna give you my card.
There we go. My guy.
Not only is it, tell me about this card right now. What you think about it?
This is the sickest card ever. I think it's, again, you got a picture of yourself, right? So like, I may forget your name in a couple of weeks, but I'll never forget the face. So. This, for me, this is really awesome. You have everything on there, But to me, like, the picture is what stands out. You see a picture like this and you're just like, okay, this is different. And you see my business card has the same thing. It has my picture on it. So, it's really important to always put your picture on your card. Always
business tip of the day.
Always people, helps people identify you better.
Or you can harass the guy, like I harassed Dan.
This is a sick card.
Thanks, man. My company prints.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know who I'm going to.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah. We like these cards. These are for the audience that can't see, but it's the credit card plastic cards, frosted.
Need that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Those joints are flat.
Let's see if I have mine here. Do I have mine? There we go.
There you go.
It's a little smaller, but
okay. Oh, you got okay. I like this. This is the silk with the spot UV.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Jeff,
round edges.
pull out your card, Jeff.
I don't know about.
Oh, you don't got no card?
I don't know about Jeff's card.
Yeah.
I don't even got my card.
See, but
Not all people, you should be having your picture on there.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
I gotta put. Yeah, he definitely always. We gotta put the Columbia blue on your card, man.
There you go.
Next round, bro.
Next time.
You gotta put your picture on it now.
Next time.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time.
So appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Danny,
I love the business tip.
Dan the man.
Dan is the man. Yeah, for sure. So, thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode.
For real.
And this episode was amazing. We had a great time with Dan.
Much love.
And you can catch us every Wednesday. Shout out to our OG Podcast Network family, Brianna, Tim. Shout out to Stefan, helping us produce today. And continue to follow us. Continue to shine, to continue to grind. But remember,
where you at?
remember, stay focused, man. And keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
Faith, grind, inspire. Peace.